Welcome to Intimate Fame, conversations with the famous and infamous like you have never heard. Success, love, history alive, history undressed, private lives intimately revealed. What if you were there? Now you are invited. Meet extraordinary people as you never have before. One-person stories like no conversation you have ever been part of. Tonight, the final episode, The Last Sitting, Marilyn Monroe. June 1962, Los Angeles, California. Marilyn Monroe arrived at the Hotel Bel-Air. She was alone, 5 hours late. She had agreed to a photo sitting for Vogue magazine with the famous photographer Bert Stern. Marilyn never granted photo sittings, but even she knew her career needed the publicity. 2,571 photographs were taken. The photographs would be the final glimpse into the life of the Hollywood icon. 6 weeks after the photo sitting, Marilyn Monroe, the original American goddess, would be dead.
What's with the ladder, Bert? Do you need help? That's rhetorical, Bert. Is that for me? You? Both of us? Is it our escape route? I am not climbing up that. I'm selling fashion, not construction appliances. What are you doing with that ladder? Oh, you plan on shooting me from up there, don't you? I like where this is going, Bert. Back to camera number 3, right? You set yourself up, Bert. I have more important... champagne! I can't be surprised to scream anymore, Bert. A toast. Yes, another damn toast. If we don't make toasts, Bert, we die. Dreaming about being an actress is far more exciting than being one. In All About Eve, I only take up about 5 minutes. At first, they thought I'd never get anything right. I would hear them grumble, "Oh, this is impossible. You can't print this." But something happened between the lens and the film, and when they looked at the rushes. During production, Bette Davis told me privately she thought I had a chance in movies, that she enjoyed my time on the screen. She also told me she enjoyed even more how brief my time was. Darling, you have the rest of them knocked off the fucking screen. That was sweet. I thought I could be much better. Now let's see what we can do with this bed. Vogue will be over the moon with all this fashion. Forget them. This is what you came to shoot. It's certainly why I'm here. Bert, where are you going? More hidden tin boxes? Oh, what's that? A present for me. Let me see. Let me see. Bert! Jewelry! Look at all this wonderful jewelry. Rhinestones, diamond bracelets. You've been holding out on me. Oh my God! I'm keeping all of them, even if they are from the 10-cent store. I was right. Camera number 3, I see. A certain avenue, a certain dress, a certain subway air vent. It was the shot seen round the world. I knew going into it. Everyone knew. Every New Yorker in a 3-mile radius of Lexington Avenue. 2,000 fans showed up. The studio wanted to get their bang for the buck on this movie even before it began. This was not movie magic. It wasn't dumb luck or blind inspiration. It was publicity you only dream about. The location work, city noise, dialogue. There were close-ups. It would all have been done on a soundstage, but we never would have gotten the press we got from the Lexington Avenue shoot. Standing over that subway vent, For Marilyn, I knew that instant, that image, forever, how I was received, loved, measured. 2 hours I gave them the Marilyn they all wanted, waving, throwing kisses. I thought of all the times I had seen Jean Harlow in the news, and how kind and loving and grateful she was to her fans. I just tried to be Jean Harlow. We shot a few moments for the screen. Wasn't even in the script. I stood over the subway grating. My white dress flies up, revealing white panties and no underskirt. That's all it was. Oh my, quite the late-night cocktail mix. 55 Lafitte and your little tin box fizzes. You know, Bert, the entire subway air vent shoot. It was all the slick idea of a shutterbug from the studio on assignment. He came up with the smart idea of the skirt-blowing bit. Saw it as the one single image the entire story was about. The New York footage is far more sexy than what ended up on screen. In the movie, just as the skirt gets above my knees, they cut to a close-up on my face. It doesn't take a college degree. The 7-Year Itch was a movie about marital cheating. But they wanted Dad to bring the whole family to see me. And there you go, up your ladder, shooting me from the heavens. Joe's worst nightmare. He got a call about the shoot on Lexington Avenue. This planned PR stunt and how it was going to be all over newspapers around the world. Joe caught the next plane out to New York. My skirt flying up and up again, the crowds cheering. Joe goes up to Mr. Wilder, the look of death on his face. He starts yelling, "What the hell's going on around here?" It probably didn't help that it was pointed out to Joe that the people on Lexington Avenue that night had seen much more of me in the Golden Dreams 1951 calendar. Joe wasn't in a mood to think anything through. There was a lot of shouting and screaming back at the hotel. Makeup had some cover-up work to do on me for the next day. Nobody mentioned anything. Not the best example of my knight in shining armor. My hero. We returned to California, and I filed for divorce. I'll kill that shot as well, just so you know. The crew on Itch put up with a lot from me. They understood, but still it couldn't have been easy. Almost every first take of a scene had to be redone, because when I'm nervous, I stutter. There was a scene to be filmed near the end of the shoot. I'm sure everyone from Mr. Wilder down worried about how it would go. How many days would it take to get this one very important scene? In the scene, I had to explain to the guy who thinks he's nothing special why I find him special, and that his wife does too. And a wife who knows that knows to be jealous. They all thought it would take days. I thought it would take days. I did it in 3 minutes. A single take. Mr. Wilder asked me after about it. He couldn't remember the last time he did one take and knew he had it. It only took one take because I believed every word of it. It was me. It goes like this. How do you know what a pretty girl wants? You think every girl's a dope. Do you think a girl goes to a party and there's some guy? A great big lunk in a fancy striped vest, strutting around like a tiger, giving you that, "I'm so handsome you can't resist me" look. And from this she is supposed to fall flat on her face. Well, she doesn't fall flat on her face. But there's another guy in the room, way over in the corner. Maybe he's kind of nervous and shy and perspiring a little. First you look past him, but then you sort of sense that he's gentle and kind and worried, that he'll be tender with you, nice and sweet. That's what's really exciting. If I were your wife, I'd be very jealous of you. I'd be very, very, jealous. This is where I kiss him in the movie. I think you're just delicate. You thought I was gonna kiss you, didn't you? Sure looked like you were gonna kiss me. What stopped you, Bert? All this jewelry. Diamonds, rubies, emeralds. Too bad they're not real. This could be our Bonnie and Clyde moment, Bert. Just junk from some old MGM musical, sitting collecting dust in some prop department. How many do you think? 100? 200? 500 fake, rare jewels they gave us to play with. 3,463. How about 3,463? There's a special number. You know what's special about it, Bert? I was the 3,463rd child in the 25-year history of the Hollywood orphanage. I had lost track of all the mother figures by the time I was 8. My real mother, Gladys. A family of distant men with headaches, moods, fits, rage, tremors. Women who were nervous, light-headed, frightened, fragile. That was my inheritance, not diamonds. Here's a story for you, Bert. A story Mr. Wilder could make up. A story Arthur could write. When my mother was 15, she married this man, Baker. Escaping one hell for another, he beat her. They had a boy and a girl. He beats her even more. Gladys runs away to California with the 2 babies. Baker finds them, grabs the kids. A brother and a sister Marilyn never knew I had. No one told me about them until I was Marilyn Monroe. This guy, Baker, kidnaps the kids to Kentucky. Gladys doesn't know they're kidnapped to Kentucky. She's in Hollywood. Kids stolen. No one cares. No job. She drinks. Gladys sleeps with some guy she can't remember. Not a picture, place, nothing. There's a good chance he's my father. Gladys, all but the age I am today, taken to a rest home. Clever name for a crazy house. On the beach in Santa Monica. That was nice. From there, I'm not sure where. Mother vanished into... My mother never made any effort to be with me. I didn't exist for her. I knew there was nothing I could do for her. We were strangers. Marilyn wanted to forget all the unhappiness, all the misery my mother had in her life, and I had in mine. I can't forget it. I'd like to try. When I am Marilyn Monroe and don't think about Norma Jean, sometimes it works. Champagne. We need... Bert? I knew Gladys cared for me. Gladys and Grace, gal pals. They were introduced to each other by Mr. Scotch. A very smooth and clever man, Mr. Scotch. Grace loved Harlow. There's a movie star, Grace whispered to me in the theater. There's no reason you can't grow up to be just like her, Norma Jean. With the right hair color and a better nose. A better nose. At 8 years old. Survival instincts. Grace hooked up with him because he couldn't keep his hands off her. Couldn't keep them off most women. Or young girls. Not that Grace noticed. Mr. Scotch kept her distracted. All those foster homes. You learn how to dodge the men in the house. learn how to be both close and distant to people. Grace. I knew she cared, best she could. I was her little movie star. I was also her inconvenience, her drop-off. I loved Grace when she saved me. Wished she was dead all the time she threw me away. Grace McKee, alcoholic, drug addict, abused wife, victimized by strokes, killed herself at the age of 58, an overdose of the barbiturate phenobarbital. I was not among the mourners at the funeral. Not that I didn't love or mourn Grace. I couldn't be Norma Jean. I needed to be Marilyn Monroe. Survival instincts. I showed up late for a nothing shot on a nothing movie. A grade Z cowboy movie in which the acting finished second to the scenery. And the assistant director shouted, "You know, you can be replaced." I told him, "You can be replaced too, honey. But they won't have to hire a replacement and reshoot you. You're not Marilyn Monroe. You just try one day. Try one day being Marilyn." Eunice doesn't want me here. We had a row when I left. I'm terrified to go home to her. She wants to hurt me. I bought a house recently, not far from here. My doctor said the house would take the place of a baby or a husband. I lived in so many houses before. Never needed a baby or a husband. Why? Why would they do that to me? I think Eunice wants to hurt Marilyn. They thought having my own home would protect me, that I must have a housekeeper, a companion. Why? Why would they do that to me? Marilyn bought a house. My doctors insisted I hire her. Eunice Murray. For the last year, since I bought the house, Eunice has been there. Every day, nearly every night. Marilyn avoids her. In my own home. That's odd, isn't it? I never trusted her. Not since day one. Snooping around. She's a spook. Hovering. To me, she is always Mrs. Murray. She always calls me Marilyn. Eunice is a spy for my doctors, sent to report back on everything I do, including this. I know it. I don't like going home. Marilyn thinks she has it out for me. Kinda creepy, isn't it? Paying someone to be in your home who creeps you out? I should find a doctor to figure that out for me. Marilyn should fire Eunice before she kills me. My life feels like a free fall without a parachute. Parachutes. Bert, did you know Marilyn Monroe exists because she had a job inspecting parachutes? Photographers from the army showed up at the factory. Orders to photograph women helping with the war. Pictures the army could show off the prettiest girls doing their duty and posing for their country. You men, you shutterbugs, all asked where in the hell I had been hiding. You asked for dates. I was smart enough, afraid enough to say no. Shutterbugs. Did we get the premise, Bert? Did we get the Garbo shot? Sometimes Marilyn feels gloomy, or I feel sad, or lost, and then you, the camera, looking into someone, seducing someone, the fans, the lovers. I spent a very long time wondering what the camera wanted from me, until I realized it was all about what I wanted from the camera. Climb your ladder, Bert. Go ahead. Don't be afraid. Shoot. It's funny. You smile for the camera. You hold very still. You act as if you're having a good time. But it's a day when you're really having terrible cramps. Sometimes modeling seemed so phony and fake, I just had to laugh. In the end, the camera loved me. More than Gladys or Grace. What do you think, Bert? More than Jimmy? More than Joe? More than Arthur? Did the camera love me more than them all? Climb your ladder, Bert. Climb. Floating above Marilyn, shooting me naked, wrapped in sheets. I see you, Bert. I see your camera. Shoot me, Bert. Shoot. Marilyn's face, Marilyn's eyes, Marilyn's lips. Shoot, Bert. Marilyn raises her hand up to your camera, Bert, as if I am making a toast. It is anything but. A wise girl knows her limits. A smart girl knows that she has none. Marilyn slowly waves, saying farewell on a distant voyage. No shutterbug, Bert. I am looking at all of you. Where have you all been so long? Go ahead, Bert. Make your way down the steps. Yes, there you go. Closer and closer, Bert. I do want to be wonderful, you know. I know some people may laugh about that, but it's true. I'm trying to become an artist and to be true, and I sometimes feel I'm on the verge of craziness. I'm just trying to get the truest part of myself out, and it's very hard. There are times when I think, all I have to be is true. Sometimes it doesn't come so easily. I always have this secret feeling that I'm really a fake or something, a phony. Where are you, Bert? Step by step, closer to me, Bert. We are far from Bungalow 214. Far from fashion, far from scarves, far from nudes. We are all of us stars, and we deserve to shine. Descend, step by step, Bert. What you hoped for all night. That's it, Bert. Let your hand reach out for her body. One last step of the ladder. Inches from Marilyn. About to touch me. About to caress. Marilyn breathes. I never wanted to be touched. Too soon. Here you are, Bert. Lips close enough to kiss. Your hand reaches out to embrace her skin. Marilyn breathes. No. Bert stops. His fingers close enough to feel the warmth of Marilyn's body. His hand slowly pulls back to gently touch his heart. What does Bert see in front of him? The vision he would never capture. Go ahead, Bert. Step off the ladder. Go ahead, Bert. Grab the Bel-Air Hotel antique chair. Set the chair near Marilyn and sit. I lay on the bed. You watch Marilyn breathe. Sunrise appears. Do you see it, Bert? The flashes that never cease? The blinding light forever in your eyes? Do you see it, Bert? Marilyn's hand raises up, as if Jean Harlow waving to the fans. All I have to be is true. No, Bert. Look, Bert. Sunrise. Can you feel it? I can. A new day. So much to live for. All we have to do is be true.
This is Scott Edward Smith, the creator of Intimate Fame. Thank you for listening, and join us next time. The Last Sitting, Marilyn Monroe, written by Scott Edward Smith, performed by Rachel Ogilvy. Sound design and original music by Chesney Hawkes. Associate producer Melissa Jobe, produced by Howard Gluss.